Peace, family. Welcome to another episode. Underground Railroad Productions. Father Rich with Brother Red Pill.
Indeed.
Good to have you. Go ahead, my brother.
Happy New Year's to the family.
Yes, spring.
Spring is here.
Oh man, we haven't done one outside with the sun like this in a while.
We endured
the
winter season. Winter is here.
Yeah.
But now spring is here.
So it's a good feeling, my brother.
It is.
Listen, with the recent events, the passing of Nipsey Hussle. I hate to say die. I said that a couple of times. I hate to say dead. The transition. I talked up a lot about metaphysics when I talked about the brother.
Yeah.
And I know energy never dies.
The assassination.
Yeah.
Of Nipsey Hussle.
So I want to talk on the idea, the concept of. I already touched on his death per se, but I want to touch on the aspect. It reminded me of the way he died, or the way he transitioned. Excuse me. See how?
Yes.
Reminded me of an interview with Boozy. Boozy Badass.
Born on my birthday.
Yeah, Boozy Badass on Vlad TV.
Facts.
Where he said most rappers die in their own hood because the people in their hood are hypnotized with hatred.
Hypnotized.
That's a strong word. That word.
When he said
that word hypnotized.
Fact. I think I dropped the blunt when I was listening to that. That was a strong. That was one of those hits, and I ran with that. Hypnotized with hatred.
So it makes me think about how, you know, the buy the block movement, and how, you know, the argument of whether when we make money and we become successful, should we leave the hood or should we stay in the hood? And you know, we've been arguing about that forever. Fact. A lot of people like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Some people like, nah, you gotta invest back in the hood.
That's right.
This is a brother that invested back in the hood. And right now, from what it seems like it was jealousy and hatred. Yeah. So we're gonna talk on that aspect, that dynamic right now. I want to give you a list real quick, my brother, before you talk.
Okay.
Of some rappers who, this isn't a phenomenon. This is something. This is a occurrence that.
This ain't a conspiracy.
This happens continuously.
Okay.
Rappers dying in their hood.
That's right.
Big L.
Rest in peace. Ashe.
Doe B.
Rest in peace, Ashe.
Soldier Slim.
Rest in peace, Ashe.
Camouflage.
Rest in peace, Ashe. I remember when that happened.
Bankroll Fresh.
Rest in peace, Ashe.
That was Atlanta, right? Bankroll Fresh?
The A.
Yeah, the A, yeah. Chinks, Queens, right?
Queens, yeah. Chinks Drugs. Rest in peace, Ashe.
Fat Pat and Big Hawk. Don't know who that. That's the Screw.
Out of Texas.
DJ Screw. Yeah. DJ Screw. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Slim Duncan.
Atlanta.
It's Waka Flocka. That's Waka Flocka boy.
That's Waka Flocka. Yeah. Homie like that. Rest in peace to the God.
Proof. Eminem's people.
Eminem, Detroit. Rest in peace, God.
Lil Snoop, Meek Mill. That's his artist.
That's Louisiana. That's the same place Boozie's from, right?
Freaky Ty, Queens.
Oh man.
Freaky Ty, Queens. You forgot about that, right? Freaky Ty, Queens.
Rest in peace to God. Representing to the
Jam Master Jay.
Rest in peace to the legend.
Queens.
Foundation.
Queens.
Rest in peace, God.
Doughboy Rock. I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure who that is.
I'm not sure that he was on this. I'm going to end it there.
No. I got a few because I don't want to leave these ones out. We have in Detroit another Meek Mill artist, Osama Dex, strip club. Rest in peace. Got shot up. There's another one out of Atlanta, Dollar. He was Akon's brother Boo's artist. That's my people's, Akon and them. That brother, rest in peace. His storyline is playing out on Love and Hip Hop with his family. I don't know their names and whatnot, but that brother got killed in Los Angeles. That wasn't necessarily his hood, but somebody from his hood got on a plane and went out there and bodied him. So sleep in peace, rise in paradise. I don't like to say rest in peace. I like to say rise in power. And also, you know, rise in power. Like, we don't rest. We're gonna rise up. So there's a few others, but when I remember them, I just want to pay homage to them.
So this particular dynamic, this isn't a particular race dynamic in which, regardless of where you go, your race is targeting you.
Yeah.
It's your hometown a geographical thing.
Yes.
Where your hometown, wherever you originate from, for some reason, that hometown wants to get at you. But if you go somewhere else with people that look just like you, Atlanta, like Boozy said, I had to move to Atlanta. They treated me like a superstar in Atlanta. Like he was talking about Baby and how he got treated in Louisiana and Wayne and them.
And then when they went to Miami,
it was all good.
Yeah.
So it's a geographical. Is that the right word I'm using? Geographical? Is that the right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what the fuck is the deal behind that? Where your own, because let's think about sports. You play in your hometown, they love you, they cheer you. So we expect to get cheered in our hometown. That's what we all expect. Yes. So what's up with this? What's going on with this, Red?
Whew. Wow. It was explained and it was broken down by Boozy in the interview that there's an aspect of familiarity that individuals who grew up with you begin to have, right? Because they might be familiar with Richard Merritt, right? But
little snot-nosed Richard Merritt.
Little snotty-nosed Richard Merritt, and they wasn't in the gym shooting with Father Rich or with Brother Rich. They wasn't on the block with Brother Rich, and they damn sure wasn't in the gym shooting with Father Rich. So now, when they hear Rich's name ringing like the goddamn like Google Home and whatnot, the shit is ringing like an intercom. Notifications keep coming in about Father Rich. The 10-year reunion on Facebook, everybody wants to know, is Father Rich coming? And here goes this nigga working at UPS and whatnot. And he's like, well, in school I was more famous than Richard Merritt. Father Rich. Not realizing that Father Rich went through a caterpillar butterfly phase because Father Rich was hustling motivated. He might have been listening to some Nipsey Hussle and got motivated to do what? To put doubt to the side, to suppress your lower self, right? To somewhat defeat the part of you that is there to sabotage you, right? To tell you, just be a regular nigga. Why don't you just be average? Why don't you be Richard Merritt? But what did Richard Merritt do? Richard Merritt created an alter ego, and in that alter ego, he poured his greatness into it. And we know that alter ego is Brother Rich. That nigga don't know him. So when he encounters you in your higher self, it's called your proper persona. And that's something that some of us that are growing up in places of poverty, in places of quote unquote disparity, in places where they keep us down and they suppress our genius. It's almost like, you know, niggas living in the underworld. But I have an analogy for the movie Us. And I'm gonna share it throughout this video and I'm gonna unpack it. And if there's anybody that's out there that did the same kind of breakdown, I just wanna use a disclaimer that this came from a walking meditation. This shit just came to me from the cosmos, but we all know that it's 100 monkey theory, and a lot of things, you know, we go online and we some of us are connected to the same Wi-Fi signal. But my concept of what Jordan Peele was trying to tell us in the Us, my concept of what was broken down in that movie, The Us, that they were showing us, is the fact that some of us are tethered to a shadow self of ourselves. Some of us are tethered or tethered or connected to a lower self or a lower part of our being, an alter ego part of ourselves who might have been a piece of shit, who might have been with the shits, who might have got dirty in the mud with a lot of these niggas in a pig pen who are looking at you when you evolved, when you grew your wings, when you went into your dark place in your cocoon and you became Brother Rich. And they can't stand that. The reds of the world. Red is what? A color, but it's also a chakra. That was Lupita's character's name, Red. It wasn't her name, it was all of them niggas' name because they all had the red jumpsuits. Where did they live? In a tunnel, the underworld, the lower self, in the lower rungs of society. But here it goes, Rich elevates. That nigga live in Brooklyn now. His name is Brother Rich. He has a new alter ego. He looks at the man in the mirror, right? The Thriller shirt, man in the mirror. You look in the mirror every day and you're reminded of him. Some of us even reconnect with that person by going back to the same environments, because DNA responds to environments, epigenetics and things like that. Look it up. And your DNA responds to environment. So if you go back into your old hood, you will switch back into that alter ego or that persona of that nigga that was in that hood, amongst other people who have not climbed out of that lower place, and they have not formed a higher version of themselves. They don't exist in what W.E.B. Du Bois called double consciousness. That's what that whole movie is about. Double consciousness. We have an internal conflict that is unique to us in America as black people, and nobody else on this quote-unquote ADOS, nobody on this quote-unquote continent shares the same kind of neurosis that we have in double consciousness. Do you want to, let me read the definition of double consciousness so it don't look like I'm out here reaching. Okay? This is the definition of double consciousness, and I'm not co-signing W.E.B. Du Bois. I'm just saying that he won the intellectual warfare over the intellectualism and the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. He defeated him. Marcus Garvey went to the pokey, and then they deported him and shipped him back into Jamaica, where he died. W.E.B. Du Bois and all of his intellectualism of the talented 10th reigned supreme with the boule and everything that we see now in society. That's the consciousness that won that war. So double consciousness is a term describing the eternal conflict experienced by subordinated groups in an oppressive society. It was coined by W.E.B. Du Bois with reference to African-American double consciousness, including his own, and published in the autoethnographic work, The Souls of Black Folk. The term originally referred to the psychological challenge of always looking at oneself through the eyes of a racist white society and measuring oneself by the means of a nation that looked back in contempt. The term also referred to Du Bois' experience of reconciling his African heritage with an upbringing in a European-dominated society. The term has since been applied to numerous situations of social inequality, notably women living in patriarchal societies. So why do I bring that up? And I'm going to get into it a little bit more as we go along. I bring that up because those of us who find ourselves successful in dominant society, in Western society, right? Those of us who are tightly nestled into what they call the industry, like the music industry, the movie industry, that's your rappers, that's your actors, and the sports industry, that's your athletes. They are every day at every time experiencing what we know as double consciousness. Some of our people who are nestled tightly into corporate America on some sorry to bother you shit. If anybody saw the movie, Sorry to Bother You, you know what I'm talking about. Double consciousness. We're bilingual. We switch on and off around what we know as dominant society, and we forfeit who we are to give them the upper hand as the dominant ones, because what do we begin to do? We change our tone, we change our consciousness, and we do what? We see ourselves through the eyes of them.
But Red, I would say that the person or the personality we forfeit, that isn't necessarily our lower self. That's just who we forfeit in order to be accepted in this society.
Fact.
The definition of double conscious, or the definition you gave, was what you're talking about is a conflict with your lower self.
No, and exactly. I'm juxtaposing that ideal with another ideal of the conflict that our people are having by suffering from poverty. Remember, the affliction of poverty is not just niggas that don't got money. When they started the war on poverty, guess what came out of the war on poverty? It was a program called the Great Society. Guess what the Great Society gave us? Food stamps. So that's poverty from what you eat. Then they gave us welfare. That's poverty of the mind. where you became a beggar nation and you relied on somebody else who was your natural overt and covert enemy to basically begin to take care of you and shit like that. Then they manipulated that. That's when no child left behind. There's programs in the Great Society where they took over the educational system even further. So that's also mental poverty. So they impoverished us with telling us lies about our history from the standpoint where they didn't tell us about our greatness. They didn't infuse any kind of greatness. So if I have the audacity to become great around niggas who were never taught to be great, I am now a target. I now risk the motherfucking possibility of somebody climbing through my window and tying me up and raping me, my wife, and my baby. Because they've afflicted our people with poverty consciousness. When I go into white society talking about I want to get away from these niggas because I want to live around white people and be safe. Poverty consciousness. You don't think they don't got poverty consciousness? Nobody never told them that they were slaves, but they told them that you were slaves. Nobody never told them that they were subservient, that they was bowing down to you, but they told them that you was bowing down to them. Poverty consciousness. They have the whole shit fucked up. They don't see themselves as have-nots.
So how come the Jews are talking continuously about the Holocaust and the horrors and the torture they've been through, and a lot of people say it's exaggerated. It's exaggerated in order for them to get that state, in order for them to get benefits, in order for them to fulfill prophecy and the Bible, all types of stuff.
That's right.
But with all of that they're taught about their oppression, they on top, my nigga. They actually tell the white people what they call WASP.
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, they're
Anglo-Saxon
mad at them
Protestants.
because they tell them what to do. They're like, they control the media. They control Hollywood. Who control Hollywood?
No, the major corporations, the small hats, or what you know as the Khazars and whatnot.
All the NBA owners, the NFL owners,
but they are definitely in bed with highbrow society. White Anglo-Saxon Protestants sit at this board. Remember, we're talking about shareholders, owners, and things of that nature.
Right.
It's not all Steins and Bergs. There's a secret, like Farrakhan put out the book, The Secret Relationship.
Between blacks, yeah.
There is a secret relationship. The small hat stays in the middle. He plays both ends of the. He could be black people's best friends. He could be a liberal. He could, you know what I mean? You guys.
So my point is that
afro out
my point is that with all the oppressive histories he's taught, he's extremely successful.
But he did not endure 400 years of programming. He did not endure. What he did was, remember, they were just in the hood. They were just in what is known as ghettos, right? When they came over to America as an immigrant class in the quote-unquote 1800s and things of that nature, they were already being persecuted in Europe. They came over here, they were subjected, they were at the bottom of the rungs. They were even lower than the Irish. The Jews living in tenements, living in ghettos. They were still looked at as Jews, but the original ghettos and tenements, right? Where people are living like, stacked on top of each other in squalor. What I'm saying is, we are living in a society where policy, where the architects and the social engineers of this quote unquote society have used subgroups to subordinate the subgroup of the double consciousness African, and they elevate them over us by telling them what? You higher than these niggas. Remember, LBJ, Lyndon Johnson, said, if we tell the lowest of the lowly white man that he's better than these niggas, right? Then he'll walk around think he's good. That was not our reality for thousands upon thousands of years. I promise you, on everything, that is a new phenomenon where the most lowliest of a pale face, or what is known as a European, is looking like they could, like they're lording over us, like we're at the bottom of the totem pole. Even in the 1800s, that was not the case. Even in the 1900s, prior to World War I, the fall of the Ottoman Empire, and after that, the fall of the Bavarian and all of this other shit, they were not looking at us in that light.
That's an extremely new phenomenon.
That is when they were going to war with the Barbary powers, when they were not looking at themselves in that light. There were classes of Europeans. before they did this blanket thing about white, you had Germanic tribes, you had the Franks, you had the Spaniards by way of Spain, you had the Portuguese. These were remember, they had monarchies, crowns and all of that, but they were always in conflict. And they have different gods and whatnot and different folklore systems that bang on each other. So it wasn't all of them as one white nation now. They did that out of convenience to do what? The same way that they're bringing in waves of immigrants, the same way it's the same playbook that it's called buffer nations. They create buffer nations to separate the conflict or separate us from them, because we are tethered and tethered to white people. The black man and woman in America is tethered to the European. And everybody else is just in the theater watching the whole thing.
Everybody, I like how you said it. Everybody else is in the theater.
Peace to the young guys. Salute to y'all. All right. Be safe. Hi y'all. Peace. Peace. Enjoy yourselves. That's the babies. So we are tethered and tethered to our quote unquote distant, the most distant to our child.
Our polar opposite.
Our polar opposite.
Okay.
To our quote unquote child. Because if the black man, woman, and child is the father, mother of the universe, everybody is our children. Don't get upset when I say that, because even at your family gatherings, niggas got that 12th cousin who's mad weird, nobody's talking to. Like, yeah, that's them. That's your cave fucking, that's Becky and your cave god and all, your snow king. That's them. They're our distant, but we're tethered to them. We're tethered to them. So everything on the continent of North America revolves around that duality, that dualism. And then inside of our culture, we have what is known as double consciousness, and then there's even triple consciousness. So what I'm saying is this: you could leave the hood, because this is, you know, the list of the rappers that get killed in their own hood. That's scary, right? That is definitely scary. But would I say, if I were to get, you know, if I was to sell a whole lot of copies of my music,
you have 500,000 in your pocket.
500 racks in my pocket.
You staying in the hood?
No, what I'm doing.
Be honest with me, my brother.
I'm going into a neighborhood of melanated people who are not only in my tax bracket, but are on my frequency, so I could connect to a stronger network and we could begin building. But I'm definitely buying back my hood. With $500,000, $250 is gonna go to a down payment for a property where I'm in a circle and whatnot, where the quote unquote schooling, right? The quote unquote food desert doesn't exist. The schooling doesn't exist. The lack of education for my seeds. But I'm not moving around quote unquote the Smiths, and I'm not chasing that pipe dream. I'm going to do my research. I'm either going into Texas, I'm going into the A, I'm going into places in Florida where we doing good, I'm going into the Carolinas where we doing good, I'm going into Geechee Gullah land and buying me some property. I want land. I might go into the quote unquote islands and buy out land. But at the same time, I am investing in all of the property that I can find in the quote unquote hood. I'm going to invest in that. I'm going to build it up. I might start with brick and mortar. I might start with a daycare center because I know that's what's needed the most. I might even start with something that's dealing with some kind of shelter that's a co-op where individuals could come and work and they got a motherfucking cot and they get something hot, but I'm not gonna feed them no GMO. I'm gonna feed them some good foods.
Indeed,
but we need labor forces. We need people, instead of seeing our people who are tethered, I'm looking at people that are tethered, because remember in the movie Us, they're talking about higher and lower. Some of you niggas let your lower self rise up from above and take over. When I just walked down here from Lexington and 25th and I saw 8 black men laying on the floor with one man had a needle hanging out of his arm, I'm like, damn, that nigga he let red take over. He let the tethered one take over. He's tethered to his lower self. He's tethered to his self-destructive. Because remember, your lower self is the self that's self-destructive. That's that nigga that made you smoke the crack. That's the nigga who comes out when the crack gets smoked. That's the nigga who comes out when you hit that dope. Because I seen niggas demons in 3D. Shitty cuz that was his tethered self. Shitty Cuz, not Eric Holder. Eric Holder is the nigga who was like, you know the family when Lupita, because everybody, oh, Eric was a nice guy before the face tats and the neck tats and whatnot, because we was in school, Eric was a cool guy. Well, that's Lupita with her family, right? The all-American dream. But when you take on the alter ego of Shitty Cuz, my nigga, when you take on the alter ego of Killer Black, when you take over the alter ego, that frequency, that's that tethered one. That's the nigga who's gonna live with you. So here it is, you living in the you trying to be Sean Carter in the suburbs, but niggas is gonna catch you, they gonna slide on you for shit that Jay-Z did. That's why he had to kill Jay-Z. Jay-Z is dead on multiple videos in his catalog. He said Jay-Z is dead in 444. He gave you the other video where he killed Jay-Z. So he's saying that I'm cutting the motherfucking tether. I want to be Sean Carter. I don't want to be that nigga no more. So Shitty Cuz and the other people who we've come across, the nigga who tried to cut my face off in 1993, right? Rest in peace to that brother. He's no longer with us, right? I did a bid with him on Rikers Island. He used to take Therazine at 9 o'clock every night and his tethered self would come out, right? And we used to come into conflict because I wasn't necessarily going to communicate with his tethered self or his lower self. I used to avoid that nigga when he was on medication. And when we had our conflict in the streets and he pulled out the banana razor and cut me 200 stitches across my arm, I saw the fact that his lower self took over. When Nipsey looked at Shitty Cuz in his eyes, he saw the demon in that nigga. It's a lot of brothers and sisters who die with their eyes open because they see the demon in the motherfucker who take their life. That's that you tethered to your lower. That's my warfare. That's my journey. Before, because don't and nobody appoint to me how I do my warfare. I've been here for many years, my nigga. I know how to do this. And if they take me out tomorrow, I done lived a legendary, iconic life. So I'm not afraid of death. I'll embrace it. I'd rather die. I'd rather be taken on my motherfucking feet, walking this walk, nigga, talking this talk, than on my knees doing nothing. Because I know that I'm gonna be iconic. If they martyr me, then they just gonna make me bigger than life. So why don't you niggas embrace that aspect of self? You dig what I'm saying? They have you living in fear. They have you living in fear of coming back amongst your own. Listen. I said it before, we need prison reform and we need lyric reform. You have to be very careful about the words that you say. You have to be careful about the frequency that you put out there. You gotta be careful about the things that you are, the false expectations appearing real that you help manifest in fearful states. I don't fear nothing that I can't see or touch. Yo, Red, you ain't scared? You be out there going in. Nigga, please. Fuck is you talking about? Scared of what? Put a date on it. Nigga, I'm here to do a job. How can I be scared to do my job?
Let me, Red, since we're talking about, leaving the community versus staying within the community, and we're talking about Nipsey having a business within the community, I want to ask you a question as a businessman. I want you to keep it real with me, and if you lie, we're studying your body language, so we're gonna know if you
put me on the jump off on a lot.
But listen, as a businessman, is there a difference between white money and black money, or when you get that money, it's all the same? Do you feel different when you get money from your brother versus
I've been told by individuals who are getting white money that white people got all the money, so white money
is easy. It's not
differently,
headaches.
Like the streets say, it hit differently.
It's not headaches,
right?
Yeah.
It's not headaches. The checks clear on time and all of that other stuff. I can't speak for it because I don't get white money, right?
Okay.
The tear that you see rolling down my face right now, in the blood that you could, this on the cement down there somewhere on 2/5. In the sweat, the salt that I've exhausted on many occasions, called blood, sweat, and tears, it was done under the watch of, my people. The support of my people is what I depended on to survive and to strive. I'm not in survival mode necessarily. I'm in striving mode. And I put a lot of work in, and I went through a lot of, I fell forward many times. I fell on my face many times, and it made me stronger. And what I realized is, what I learned from the experience and the appreciation that I got for our people came through my commerce that I was doing with my people. It didn't come from a book. It didn't come from a lecture that somebody had to convince me to love my people. And nobody had to tell me on YouTube to love my people. And they're not telling you to do that any fucking way, to be honest with you. That's not the message that's going out. But I didn't need nobody to tell me that. I fell in love with my people based off of the support that my people was able to give to me when I went out on a limb with an endeavor that was, because my endeavor is catered to my people. Keep that in mind. I'm a Sabi's baby. Keep that in mind, that I was imbued with a mission when I was a child. And I didn't carry out that mission till later on in my life. But what he told us and what I saw when I was a young jit, 8 years old, and he was barefoot standing on a podium or on a platform and whatnot in the loft, spilling out that linen cloth, because he liked to wear linen a lot. And he said, you don't gotta look outside of your people if you're doing for your people. That's what he taught me. And I was like, yeah, I was like,
say that again.
You don't have to look to survive and to get money outside of your people if you're doing for the people.
It's deep. And I didn't know he said that. That's deep.
The 80s and the 90s of the quote unquote, you know, Dr. Sebi era, it wasn't an easy era. He had a lot of enemies who hated on him, right? The same shit that Nip was going through, right? He was all in the hood. He opened up where the Barclays Center is right now, right on Flatbush across the street from Knapp's and in the sneaker store and whatnot, right where Harriet Tubman's alter ego wound it up. That's Sebi was on top on the loft. Then he opened up shop in DC. Then he opened up shop in the A. Then he opened up shop in LA. Never in the suburbs, Rich. Never on the outskirts of where our people who are in poverty and who are suffering from poverty on multiple planes. I'm not talking about the lack of money, because our people are not suffering from that. Niggas get high every day. In this park, right here. And they find a way to get hits. They're not just hitting one nickel bag or one dime of heroin and whatnot or bundle. They keeping the drug dealers in foreigns. So it's a lot of money in these streets. And our brothers and sisters that are working 9 to 5 who are saving up, and our brothers and sisters who are entrepreneurs. I don't live in that world of lack where I'm just gonna blanket, you know, because a few niggas is short on gas money, I'm gonna just say we all fucked up. No, we're not. But we are impoverished in so many other ways. They switched the bag on us somewhere around in the 80s and whatnot, where they had us chase after what Steve Harvey called the money game, and we gave up on a lot of things. That's why niggas is broke. They rich and depressed right now. They're not wealthy. Niggas is rich and depressed. Wow. They don't have no grippers, right? They go to the bathroom and you don't hear, it just comes right out. Oh, man. They don't, because they talk about selling your soul, but they don't tell these dudes that selling your soul is touching your toes. So a lot of people have done things in dark rooms that they cannot look in, they can't look at themselves in the mirror because it looks like Red looking back at Lapita. They see, because all of us have that horrific looking part of ourselves. You know how you look before the shape up, little niggas? You know what I'm talking about? You know how you look when you take your motherfucking tracks out. You know, you got that part of yourself that you look in the mirror that you gotta beautify because you can't let the world see that part. When niggas is mad high on you know, when you doped out and whatnot, you ever looked at a crack fiend in the mirror? You ever seen a crackhead look at themselves in the mirror while on crack? So, the mission is healing, Rich. The mission is not move away from the people. The mission is not stun on these niggas. The mission is not run from the sickness. The mission is I'm going to die in the motherfucking trenches. I'm gonna die in the hood where I came from, nigga. There's nowhere that I can go. I'm a universal cosmic being, but I incarnated like Nipsey incarnated with the Christ-like energy, with a Christos energy. I'm amongst the trenches. And if I happen to go outside of the trenches, I'm going to send my family into paradise. But my mission will always to be, even in paradise, it's the trenches. Because everywhere that we go around this planet, our people are being subjugated and oppressed by a motherfucking alien culture, by a people who do not deserve to be in the position that they're in. So I have a lifelong mission. I'm on a crusade to put our people back on top. So the trenches is inside of you first, and it's everywhere that you look around. But hold on. But I know the DNA responds to environment. So every now and then, yes, I'm going to be on a golf course. I'm going to be around a lake. I'm going to be on a beach. I'm going to be in the tropics. I'm going to be in paradise. I'm going to be on my estate. I have an estate. But my mission is still in the trenches.
Last question, Red. I don't want to keep you too long, my brother.
That's right.
Seeing what you see went down with Nipsey, seeing what you see continuously go down with rappers in their own city, or people, black people of wealth in their own hometown, was Nipsey, do you think, my brother, Nipsey opening up a store in his hood, was that a mistake? Should he have did something different?
Well,
still been around for his children and his wife?
I would say 100% no. Right? Nipsey Hussle shared a story about his acquisition of not only the Marathon store, but the parking lot. You gotta understand the reason why Nipsey Hussle is so significant in our journey. Remember, we're in our 400-year jubilee, right? We're at the end of a cycle. So everything that's taking place this year is biblical. It's all spiritual. His name is Ermias. He is an Eritrean royal bloodline. He is a true African American. He has both continents in his bosom. You understand? He stands on both continents. He is a king in the trenches, and he's also a king in the Habesha community. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. His name means sent by God. He made a decision, his whole body of work, out because he talks about getting money, right? Making sure that your whiz is a 5-star, taking care of the babies, taking care of your homies, staying 10 toes down, and living in what is known as opulence, meaning that we live in a quote-unquote opulent society. I am a have, I'm not a have-not. I'm an American descendant of a sovereign, right? For the record, because like I said, I went and saw my estate in the American Virgin Islands, right? It's the U.S. Virgin Islands. I saw my estate, right? So, and my estate also in America is also my people own land. So, you know, I live in abundance. I don't live in scarcity. You could open up around me. You could put your table right there, God. You selling jewelry? I got jewelry. You selling clothes? Oh, no doubt. Set your table up. We on 2/5, my niggas. We trapping. Yo, why don't you go to the village, Red Pill, to be around who? Sodom or Gomorrah? Which one? To be around black people in double consciousness on a sorry to bother you shit in the Greenwich Village where these niggas is wearing heels and switching and whatnot, trying to be Romans? I'm good. I'm gonna say right here with these Kemetic King Tut shirts, I'm gonna stand right here because there was an officer who right, who told me that I couldn't sell my shit out here because it wasn't culture. So I gotta bang on him. Then 8 officers jumped my brother and put a death choke on him and stomped him out while Sinetta was taping it back in the days and whatnot in 2007 and tried to kill my brother. Now fuck that, I ain't going nowhere. I'm standing right here and shaking this bitch up, right? Oh, wait a minute, I'm across the street from the Apollo. I grew up watching the Apollo. The Apollo is the sun god. No, you know what? They told me Malcolm X talked right over there. Oh, they said that Garvey walked these streets. Now I'm right here. What did Garvey say? What did the young god Nipsey say when he was in Slauson? He was part of the Rolling 60s, right? He had it tatted on his body. If you don't, if the family out there doesn't understand what that culture represents that I'm gonna live and die with you. because I'm going to make sure that I use my power and my influence and my name, in the name of my set, community, revolution, and progress. I'm going to utilize the name of my set to make things better for my people. So he bought the whole parking lot. He started out on the table like me, Rich. Go and watch the documentary. He had a white table that you fold up, and he was selling t-shirts, and he was getting locked up. They locked me up on 2/5 multiple times. They try to kill my brother on 2/5. They try to martyr us. And he was standing up for another brother who they was locking up for selling CDs. So Nip was like, nah, I ain't leaving Slauson, I ain't leaving Crenshaw, they need me out here. He did the only smart store in America, opened up in Crenshaw. You could put that on a record book for black inventors. Him and Idris, who's an African, who works who helped do shit with Google and Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, who lives in Los Angeles, right? His business partner, Idris, go and look it up. They opened up the first smart store with the Marathon store. It's all kind of shit that you could do in that store. He did some stuff for the stem cell research for the babies and whatnot. He did all of these things. So when you're a king in a place that you fought, I believe he got shot at before. He went through a lot of things. So he fought for this position. He lived for this position. Why would he not stay on his square and stand on what it is that he said was tatted on his neck? That's his hood. You don't turn his store was gonna expand. That's what franchises are, Rich. But a flagship is where you start out at. My flagship is right on 2/5, regardless if I go global. This is where I started out. I'm not scared of my hood. If a nigga lay me down in my hood, then so be it. You know what I'm talking about? I would rather be laid down in the hood than out of bounds in some fucking foreign land or in some place where my spirit is not. My spirit will haunt you for life. My spirit will become immortalized if you lay me down in my kingdom. I'm not scared of that. Get it together. And if you do something, and this is what I'm gonna leave with, the example that Nipsey left in his walk, and this is how we separate the mice from the men, because I'm checking everybody's temperature. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna do a Davy. I don't know if you niggas should do a Savvy, dog. They out here killing niggas. Well, I don't know if I should set up in the hood. Well, goddamn it, you might die in the hood. Well, I don't know if I should fuck with these poor niggas, because look what poor niggas do for you. You a lame. And you have identified that you live in fear, and you would rather do what Cypher did in the Matrix, little nigga. You would rather sell out for the state than to sit down and eat the motherfucking Barsley. He said double up, 10 toes down. That's what Nipsey told you. Young niggas. He said that you might have to eat that before you are able to eat good. But I'm gonna stay in Zion. Shout out to the Blue Devils. I'm gonna stay comfortably in Zion with Trinity, right? And I'm gonna rock the Matrix, because he wasn't with them. He wasn't necessarily there he was there to disrupt the Matrix by giving niggas like us some cloth. Because that's all we need, is some inspiration, because we've been beat up so much. Because me and you are the most targeted, right? The most targeted human beings on the planet, the black man and the woman and the child. But we're set for destruction, especially the black man who is not succumbed to his double consciousness, who's not code switching. I don't code switch. Nigga, I'm on, my shit is on, my Wi-Fi is on 24 hours a day. I'm red pill every day. You know what I'm talking about? So no, family, we've abandoned the hood for far too long. Some of us has done damage in the hood, and we have to come back and give back to the hood and repair the hood. Some of us have been in the trenches so long that we know the solutions and we know what the people need, so why abandon them now? Some of us can identify that we survived this 400-year curse, and tomorrow is gonna be better, right? So we live for a better tomorrow. And the works that we do and the sacrifice that we make and the motherfucking and the disruption that we are responsible for. Cause I'm not talking about what I'm gonna do, nigga. What I did in 10 years is legendary, nigga. We need statues. We need statues. So my face is already, I have a mural next to a club called Corner Social. Is that a fact, Rich? Nice. Me and my brothers already immortalizing a mural in Harlem right now for our works, right? So I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna breathe life into this hood because remember, DNA responds to environment. A lot of you niggas made the suburbs live and they don't even deserve your light. A lot of you niggas done rose the fucking property prices of these white neighborhoods that you go into. The prices didn't fall. It rose up. The reason why Brooklyn is prime real estate and the reason why Harlem is prime real estate is because of the motherfucking work that it's the source, it's the work that we put into these concrete. The spirit is still here.
You want to feel that spirit.
Where they come from is worth nothing. Me and my whiz was talking about moving in. You should see the prices in Connecticut and the places where these white people abandoned. $1,500 for 4-bedroom houses. Yeah. And the mortgage is like $900. Their real estate is worthless when we're not around it. So, no, I'm way beyond that conversation, Brother Rich. The conversation, because there's cul-de-sacs, there's communities, there's black towns. I'm going there. And I'm gonna interject all of these ideas and concepts.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's so interesting. You say that because we're taught the opposite by the economists.
Yes.
That we drop the real estate value.
Yes.
But we see them coming to where we at because of the liveliness, the soul, the energy.
That's what they say. They say we gotta go to Harlem and Brooklyn and New York because there's a different soul out there that we get a nightlife. We get soulful interactions. That's all they're saying. They're in Atlanta. They're all around us in DC. They're everywhere that we're at, soaking up, drinking your black tears, right? Drinking all of that, soaking up all of that energy. That's what you have to keep in mind, and you have to walk in that light. You have to put value back into who you are. It is that you don't have to apologize for restoring value. Your culture is worth $1 trillion. Your cloth is worth $1 trillion. The words that you say, the way that you wear this cloth. They've monetized it. They made multiple industries on it. They created a fantasy industry of video games, fantasy movies like Avengers Endgame. They created X-Men, they created cartoons, they created toys, they created all of these things. They created Dragon Ball Z and Thundercats. They called Nipsey Thundercat. That was his nickname, Thundercat, outside of his other names. So they created fantasy industries off of our mythology, off of our story, off of our urban legends, nigga. Urban legend. I'm an urban legend in a certain section. That's Lupe. You niggas need to be reciting some Lupe lyrics. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna celebrate the God. We gonna get what happened to him. I'm gonna celebrate the God, and I'm gonna walk in His light, and I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna be responsible alongside other people to finish in His works, because that's how you revere them. That's how you revere the great ancestors. Is that you finish their works, and you keep their name alive, but you set up altars and you set up edifices in their memory. Shout out to Blue Pill and Kim Bripson. You set up edifices or edifices in their memory. That's why they have bronze statues of the Confederates. That's why they're carved in the side of Stone Mountain. That's why they were 187. You niggas, if you try to take them down, you gotta raise statues of the great ones. They put a statue up of 21 Savage in the Brooklyn Museum, and he got edified and he rose up, he leveled up right after that. Is that a fact or not? Go and Google 21 Savage statue in Brooklyn Museum, and directly after that, that nigga rose up on levels. It's levels to this shit. He rose up on levels directly after that.
We was gonna do another video, but we're pressed with time. We don't have another time to squeeze it in.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
I was just gonna ask a broad question.
Yeah.
And going into that, and maybe we can have a deeper conversation with Black Dot and some other brothers.
I would love to have that. I need my brother with me. He'll be here soon.
But in general, since the passing, the transition, as we say, of the god Nipsey Hussle, like I said, me and KT just did a video about the Dr. Sebi documentary. We was giving him props. We was loving what the brother was doing. Me and your brother made a video in the past about what the brother was doing with cryptocurrency and things of that nature.
About Nipsey.
About Nipsey, yeah.
You and Blue did a few videos on Nipsey. Y'all can find that in Google.
A few videos on Nipsey. Me and Blue.
That's right. That is a fact.
I read. We pressed with time. We about to wrap it up. We was actually going to do another video, but we don't have time right now. So what I want to do is I want to ask a broad question pertaining to the video we was going to do, and maybe we could elaborate it on another video with Black Dot and some other brothers and sisters.
It needs an hour and change to unpack. Indeed. This is the disclaimer for that. We have to completely unpack it, and I will not just put it on my watch. We got to form Avengers Endgame, and the brothers have to unpack that. But yeah, go ahead.
So since the transition of Nip, the guy Nipsey Hussle, and like I told you before, me and Blue have done, besides the video I just did a couple of weeks ago with KT on the Dr. Sebi documentary, me and Blue have done previous videos about his investment in cryptocurrencies, things of that nature. His album being a classic, all of that. Yeah.
You and Blue was on top of Nipsey Hussle, always covering and giving him his honors and his flowers while he was alive. And he saw that as well. But go ahead.
So with that being said, just so much arguing and craziness rose out of his death between the black community, as far as whether this is a conspiracy theory, a brother with a messianic energy like that, high profile crime like that, what he has done, what he's capable of doing, what has happened to us as a people in the past, that automatically is classified as a conspiracy. Another group of people feel like y'all niggas need to get over that conspiracy theory shit, pick yourself up by the bootstrap, like they say, and stop having a victim mentality, and do some self-reflection. Stop blaming other people for what y'all are responsible for. Black on black crime, as they say, which we'll get into that later on in another video. What I wanna say, I just want to say real quick. It was kind of sad on my behalf to see us arguing like that after the, like, in my opinion, it's like speak your piece and you can move on, but it's like we was really going at each other. I seen all of me, this brother saying that, all the sneak diss and all types of stuff. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I understand before, because I definitely want you to touch on it. Yeah. Because you got the whole Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah thing.
Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. So that's my series.
Red Pill, I see both sides. Both sides are valid. Why wouldn't black people be concerned with a conspiracy? Let me just read what a brother posted on Instagram. Some conspiracies: Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, MLK, war on drugs, slavery, redlining, medical experience. Me and my personal experience, Red, I had a West Indian doctor in Lenox Hill and admit to me that the doctors purposely give black women abortions, not abortions, C-sections, and they don't do it to other women. She confessed. She's like, if you say it, I'm gonna just deny it.
That's right.
But I praise that sister for letting me know I'm not crazy. Just wanted to add that. Flint, Michigan, Malcolm X, all these Ferguson activists who recently got killed.
That's right.
Chicago, the guns in Chicago that some people saying there's crates being dropped off.
That's right. Black
codes, Jim Crow, state-sanctioned killing of black men, the entire criminal justice system. Red Pill. The list goes on. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So as African and so-called African Americans, we're saying all of this stuff, and everybody thinks we're crazy. So when I see brothers talk about conspiracy theories, these conspiracy theories been on point for the most part. 60%, 40% been false.
I mean, you named conspiracy theories
that have turned conspiracy into fact.
Yeah, but Rosewood, right? Black Wall Street. That's only a conspiracy theory to some people. Are confusing when they find out about shit that done went down with a conspiracy theory. Family, that was never a conspiracy theory. It's just that you wasn't in alignment to get the information when you was asleep. And you found out about that when you woke up. There are certain conspiracy theories that turn into facts, but certain things. But
Katrina,
definitely. The levees and the murdering of innocent black men.
9/11.
By way of Blackwater, 9/11, the hand it played into all of that, straight up. Those are conspiracy theories, in my humble opinion, turned fact. We've lived long enough because my master teachers, along with a lot of other master teachers, I'm going to name them: Steve Coakley, Dick Gregory, Dr. Philip Valentine, Dr. Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Sabi.
Even Dr. Sabi, the conspiracy theories that he got killed.
Dr. Blair, right? Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Ben. I'm giving you a list of our teachers. Dr. York. These are doctors diagnosing, right? White fragility, the white inferiority complex, quiet weapons for silent war. These people are diagnosing the neurosis, the psychosis. They're also diagnosing our people in their double consciousness. They're telling you who's the agent, who's the motherfucking devil, who the black devil is, and who is not. And they're also trying to help you. A lot of the things that they talked about in their books, the majority of the people that I named right now are authors. You can prove and you could do a fact check and you could case study what it is that I'm saying, so you know that I'm not dealing with theories, because I don't like speculation. I'm not a theorist. I'm a realist.
Well, brother, when Katrina happened, our people knew something was up, but we didn't have the facts to support it. But our gut told us this shit ain't right.
The highest form of intelligence is the gut. Intuition.
It's intuition.
It's the gut. It's the second brain that's inside of your gut. It's the abdominal brain.
We didn't have facts about Sirius, but nigga, our people know that there's something beyond scientific instruments. So
I think they might have had facts about Sirius.
No, the ancestors knew. What I'm saying is Western culture did it. But go ahead, I don't want to cut you. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, look, all I was just doing right now was just trying to give you we need clarity, right? So I'm not saying that conspiracy theories have not come into conspiracy fact, or conspiracy theories have not evolved into fact. What I just said to you was, me and you have lived long enough inside of this community where I could name a laundry list of things that have come into fact. So when Katrina happened, there was an intuition. This ain't what they say it is, right? Yo, this is something deeper. Come to find out, they blew the levees, they was killing people, Blackwater, all of these things took place. Other disasters and things that happened, and all of these stories that they try to give us. Do we listen to the media? We do not. Do we listen to our intuition? Yes, we do. People are saying that, the murder of the brother is a government conspiracy, and the shooter, Eric Holder, is a Manchurian candidate. Right? And he was sent out to kill him, not because of jealousy, not because of hate, not because of him and being a bitch ass nigga, not because of the fact that he's already a rat, is unloyal, but he works with the boys, right? But, a lot of people work with the boys. Niggas are selling drugs.
But a Manchurian candidate is
a whole lot different. So,
like, remember the DC sniper that wound up being black?
That's right.
When they found him, he was asleep at the wheel.
That's right.
Bobby said that was a clear sign of Manchurian shit.
Candidate.
Who the fuck falls asleep at the wheel?
The fact that he was trying to check into a mental hospital.
That's.
You know what I mean? I was reading his Instagram tweets. He didn't seem crazy then, but the fact that he may have been trying to you know, he was saying he got set up and whatnot, and maybe people might have been playing with his head, right?
That's what he said?
Yeah, but this is the fact though, because all of that is good, but that's theory. And I always have to put into context what theory is and what they call speculation or speculatory arguments or speculatory, standpoints. And then there's facts, right? You get off on the exit of speculation, and then there's facts. So this is what facts are. Facts is that at the DJ Khaled video shoot, he was heavily armed with security. Okay. The facts is that he mentioned to his team that his life was threatened and whatnot. Those are the facts. The facts is that he tweeted right before he got killed about having strong enemies and whatnot, right? That is a fact. So what I would be waiting for to draw conclusions into to satisfy my theory, my inquiry, because I'm still inquiring, right? I'm still inquiring. What did he tell his whiz? And what did he tell his team? I don't want to hear from nobody else right now.
Okay.
Because I've heard all of the arguments.
Right.
Yo, this person got shot a certain kind of way. And then I see the tape and he get hit like I see niggas in the hood get hit all the time.
They said military style.
Yeah.
They said he got hit, the dude ran off, came back. The main security camera, you don't got that footage, so.
That's right. They'll put that out soon.
Yeah.
He killed him like somebody who hates the person that they shoot.
Okay. Right.
Military style. Well, goddamn it, everybody in the hood is getting killed military style then, because it's a lot of headshots out here. They just killed the brother in front of in Atlanta, Eric Dixon, at Ruggs' at his own birthday party. He got murked. They shot him in the head and ran off on foot. Right a week before. This is a well-known dude in the hood. This is street shit. So Lauren London and his team have information that can help with the investigation and with the fact that we need answers, right? So those who are close to you this should be protocol as we move along and whatnot. Like, this should be protocol. The brothers and sisters in Ferguson, right? Like, there's conspiracy about who's behind it, and then they have people come forward and it's like, yo, I'm on his team, fam. Like, he was in fear of his life because of quote unquote threats that he was receiving. Blase Bloom. That's a tangible lead. So where I'm going with it is that, along with the fact that we could conspire and theorize about what happened to our brother, we can also, right? Because I feel like there was a lot of confusion, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Nigga, I'm broken. Like, I don't know where to direct my emotions, but fam, I went from being broken to shaken to broken again to I felt a humongous loss with that brother's death, and I see a lot of people on edge and upset.
Why is that? Why him? Why him?
Because of the spirit that he represented and the fact that, you know, he has a neo energy, and sometimes, you know, like I said, we were doing segments and we were already giving the brother his props and his praise, and we were putting people on to who he was prior to his untimely demise. But when you kill a Messiah, when a Messiah is assassinated, then there's a telltale sign of a Messiah leaving us because of the spiritual implications and the impact that they have on your heart and your mind and whatnot. So I'm identifying this brother as a black Messiah, and in the quote-unquote series, Fear of a Black Messiah, along with Fear of a Black Planet, we speak intricately about the government's conspiracy, about how they've been utilizing niggas that look just like you to take you out, about double agents, triple agents, COINTELPRO. We rolled out COINTELPRO 2.0. We talked about the quote-unquote I did a lecture called The Attention Economy with these trolls. Treasures are trolls. And we showed you how this culture, we did a lecture talking about hip hop being a deaf culture. So it's a lot of shit out there. And niggas that look just like you are not loyal. And the game is so fucked up, and the value system is so in the gutter. It's so shitty, right? Shitty cuz. It's so in the shitters that, yeah, niggas will sell out and they will go on missions for the government to take out the messiahs amongst us, because they're doing it unwillingly, unknowingly, and knowingly every single day in our hood. So I'm not gonna miss the opportunity to have a broader conversation, because this once again is a teacher moment to have a broader conversation. So like I said, because of some of the confusion, we're missing the opportunity to have a broader conversation. The broader conversation is the fact that he left you with the 10 Nipsey commandments. The broader conversation is the fact that he was into the stem cell research. The broader conversation was the fact that all of his lyrics was about upliftment if you from the streets.
I don't want to, the battery's about to die, family. But I don't know if this is a reach with the question I'm about to ask, but is Tekashi 6ix9ine, is this murder, is this like an effect of the, is this like a Tekashi 6ix9ine effect when a bitch ass nigga feels as though he has the privilege and the right and the audacity to commit a brazen murder the way he did, if that's exactly what happened?
The Tekashi effect is the fact that the whole ratting thing, especially amongst the street organizations and whatnot, because the Tekashi thing has a ripple effect on how certain people are allowing other individuals around them. Oh, that nigga's a known rat. You might be wearing a wire. They might have let you out and told you to go to my store and spy on me, or go to my store and start some kind of issues and troubles and whatnot. It's called agent provocateurism. It's all over. They got niggas running plays every day like that. It's entrapment. It's agent provocateurism. It's a lot of these things. You understand? But it's also bitch ass niggadness. It's also niggas in their whole self, in their lower self, in their sunken place, right? It's jealousy. Because remember, we talking about the 4 evils right here. Niggas is hypnotized with hatred and they not on the payroll. Niggas, remember, envy, you can't cure envy. So anybody that's in their proper persona, this working on leveling up. Level up meaning, nigga, you on the upper level now. You not in the basement in yourself. You in the upper room. So you moving in your godhood. And that shit will affect certain people in a negative way. That will create enemies amongst even your circle who are not in their godhood. And by you shining in your godhood, you're gonna expose that they're not living in their godhood. So they might feel like you got to go, or you gotta fall. Put that nigga on the cross. We gotta sink him back. We gotta shrink him back down to our size, so they put rumors out on you. So they hate on you on the side, they stab you on your back. Niggas try to knock your whiz off and whatnot. You dig what I'm saying? So the Tekashi effect is the fact that the rat culture is detrimental and it's toxic.
Is it amplified?
Huh? It was amplified. So what did Nipsey tell that nigga? You a rat, get from me, right? It gets amplified in this post-Tekashi world and whatnot, where the street organizations are really hard up on they anti-rat shit, because they know that, that there's a buffer. There's a buffer between the people who are naturally trying to get them. And that buffer is the rats, it's the confidential informants, it's the niggas that are working with them boys, because Nipsey was sitting down with the LAPD to stop the violence, to help the hood. These niggas is sitting down with the LAPD and all they're doing is doing what? Whenever they lock up a drug dealer or some of these other people, all they doing is debriefing them. Because of the war on drugs, because the big homie or the El Chapo or the one at the top is the government, the niggas is working for them any goddamn way. You're not getting over on them. They know everything that's going. COINTELPRO. They control the coin, they control the telecommunication, and they control the camera, right? Or the surveillance and whatnot. That's how they watch niggas. That's COINTELPRO 2.0. So you gotta be on your tippy toes. But under no circumstances do you allow that to stop you. The marathon continues, nigga. It's a victory lap. Die on your feet. There's nothing else to talk. What else is there to do here? So immortalize yourself, become an icon, go back into your hood, follow Nipsey's cultures. I'm following his steps. Because you could build in the hood